Abuse perpetrated by evil men in dresses is a bad idea.
What is up guys, Dean here, welcome back to the channel. So, we have got more Harry Potter news today. It doesn't end guys, what a past couple of weeks it's been. And as I said, I've got more news. It's a book burning guys, a literal book burning. Someone has taken a Harry Potter book and set it on fire in a direct message aimed at J.K. Rowling. So, Australian activist Tess Hall, who I have to say kind of made a kind of contradictive of statements. She made herself look like pretty much a fool, and I'm going to explain that as the video continues. So anyway, here's what happens, okay? There's no shortage of activists and unhappy former fans of Rowling speaking out and giving their 2 cents, with the majority of them aimed at the Harry Potter author. Now, Tess Hall is no different, but she kind of went the extreme route if you ask me. So the Aussie posted a video of her burning a copy of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. So let's take a look at the video. I'll play the whole clip. It's about 2 minutes long, so watch the whole thing, and then I'm going to address some of the points she made after the clip is showed. So let's take a look at the clip now.
It's a balmy Sunday, and I've just been reflecting on some of this hate that we've been seeing of late. And I think it's just really important, if we're going to return to this kind of time where hate is emboldened and people march in the street against the existence of others. And we've got Christo-fascist cookers pulling LGBTQ books out of school libraries and off the shelves of Kmart. I thought maybe it'd be a good time to remind everyone, if we're going to be in the business of book burning, let's make sure we're burning the right books. Of course, book burning is a somewhat inflammatory gesture, one not to be encouraged. I understand that the writer of this book is worshipped by many trans-exclusionary radical fascists. This dangerous tome, authored by an obsessed bigot who needs a new hobby, is in homes all over the world. The burning question is, won't somebody think of the children? What will come of their exposure to the dangerous ideas espoused by right-wing nutjobs? If parents are allowed to spew vile identity-based hate, one has to wonder, is the harm kids face really the mere existence of non-het, non-cis people? Or is it in the rhetoric they are subjected to in their own homes and places of worship? While the media fans the flames of non-issues about trans people playing sport and which toilet people piss in to flog newspaper subscriptions and boost pitiful ratings, it's pretty clear that driving people towards religious institutions obsessed with covering up abuse perpetrated by evil men in dresses is a bad idea. As the far left baits the far right to march in the streets, all that is achieved is effective recruitment and radicalisation of transphobic thugs. We, the people, can and must choose to reject manufactured culture wars being exported by the UK and the US. So to the Christo-fascists, to the J.K. Rowlings, to the KJ KKKs and the Catherine Deeves of this world, I say this. We are here, we are queer, we are gender diverse, and whilst we didn't start the fire of hate and vilification you fuel, we will sure as hell extinguish it through love and acceptance of all.
So guys, as you can see, Tess starts off with showing up close the burning of the chapter entitled The Invitation. So no doubt that's a metaphor for the initial invitation J.K. Rowling gave to all of her fans to invite them into her creative world of Harry Potter, that I most certainly haven't left. Now, Tess is saying that LGBTQ plus books are being pulled out of school libraries and are being pulled out of places like Kmart. Now, Now, for starters, they haven't. That is not true. That story actually comes from Iowa, where it was stated that LGBTQ plus books should not contain any sexually explicit material if they are going to be available to children of a younger age, or an inappropriate age, if that's the way you want to label it. Now, I agree with that. I don't think any book that contains sexually explicit material, not just LGBTQ plus books, but any book in general, should be available to any child that is below the appropriate age. And that's just it. You know, I feel like I have to make a statement to back myself up and tell everybody, you know, I don't mean to offend anybody by what I'm saying. If you take offense with it, not my problem. That's my opinion, that's my fact. Explicit material should not be available to children of an inappropriate age, of a 1-year-old. And there is no way, even if he's 5 or 6, 7, I wouldn't want him reading any books like that until he is of a mature mind to make a decision that he is okay to read these kind of books. So my next point is, I need to highlight something because, again, it's been brought up in the comments and I need to just say this. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being trans. There is no mob out to attack trans people because they are trans, and I am certainly not one of them. If my son came to me when he's older and said, "Dad, every single being of my body, every piece of me is screaming at me to be the woman that I feel I am," then I will 100% support my son. And it's the same if he was gay. I don't even know what way my son will develop. He's only one. But what's important is I will support my child in any venture that he feels he needs to go on. And there's nothing literally left to be said about that. However, there will always be the argument of biological sex versus gender identity. It will never ever go away, guys. But until children come of the age to be mentally mature and savvy enough to make decisions so important that they shouldn't have access to any book that contains sexually explicit material. So I can't emphasise that enough. So guys, Tess goes on to say that if we're going to be in the business of book burning, then we should remind everyone of the right books to burn, and she toasts a copy of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, a children's book about a magical boy wizard fighting to defeat an evil Dark Lord. So keep the sex stuff available, but burn the fantasy books due to the person who wrote it. I have to state that there's massive concerns about the grey area of biological sex versus gender. There's two sides to every single argument, guys. There really is. It is not fair, nor is it right to label every trans person in the same bracket, and I completely understand that. Okay, all these really super extreme guys that are out there going to extreme lengths do not represent the vast majority of the trans community, who have always maintained quite a peaceful protest. Okay, so these extremists, I truly believe they don't represent the trans community. I said it in my last video, and I said it in the video before that. Okay, so then there's the argument, at the same time, a man could put on a wig or put on a dress, claim to be trans, go into a female bathroom and then attack a woman just because he said he was trans. So he's using that gender to be able to take advantage of it, manipulate it, and, mount an attack on an innocent woman. Can you see how grey this area is? It's not black and white, it's not straightforward, it's extremely complicated, it's extremely delicate, because trans people are people at the end of the day. There's every con for a pro from each side. It's literally tearing the world apart. It's tearing the world of Harry Potter apart. Guys, and so many of you have hammered me in the comments, "Oh, choose a side, Dean, get off the fence, whose side are you on?" There is no side. There is no side. I don't want an individual who has struggled their entire life in order to finally feel comfortable in who they are to be told, "You are not who you say you are." I don't want that. Whether it's male to female, female to male, it's not right. I also don't want the guy to pop on a dress and put on a wig at 2 a.m. and go into women's bathroom and attack someone either. So it's just such a grey area, and I'm just so tired of things like that being, blown up, but we're getting attacked because we still want to read and watch and talk about Harry Potter, and now there's book burnings, burn the right material. It's just absolutely crazy. The point I'm trying to make here, guys, is everyone has to be protected. Everyone has to be protected. That is the most important thing. So as she's burning the book, she labels Harry Potter readers who continue to support the franchise as trans exclusionary radical fascists. I'm not a trans exclusionary radical fascist, and nor are the majority of Harry Potter readers. So my children will be introduced to the books as they grow, and they will know about the magical world of Harry Potter. That, my friend, is a fact. And there we go again, labelling everyone outside our circle an enemy for not conforming to a seriously grey area. She then goes on to say, I have it here in front of me, while the media fans the flames of non-issues such as trans people playing sport, I'm sorry, I thought trans people playing sport was a massive issue if you want to address the equality factor in terms of the physical prowess between a man and a woman. But no, that's not important as burning a Harry Potter book to get your point across. She says, we didn't start the fire, but we extinguish the flames. That's ironic and quite contradictory, as you're literally burning a book. It's literally like a metaphor counteracting the metaphor you're trying to make. Doesn't make sense. This is absolute madness, guys. It has gone back to the old days of book burning, and now once again placing anyone who not even has a different opinion but won't jump to your fence in a bracket named "they're not with us, so they're against us." And reminds me of that other old saying, if you don't do anything then you're just as bad. Who the hell are you to label us in such a bracket. I said this before in a previous video and I'll say it again. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being trans. Nothing. I'm not trans, so I can never sit there and say I truly understand what it's like to walk in a trans person's shoes and see just how difficult a journey and transition it has to be. I will never be able to say that. But what I can say on this, and all you guys telling me to get off the fence, well, here's your answer, okay? Here's my definitive view, okay? There is no side. There are no sides. That's my opinion. The area is so grey that there's argument of points from both parties. There is argument of points. It will never be black and white. I've said this because there's too many tentacles stretching out, touching other tentacles, and it just creates this whole system that just expands and expands, and it's just like, yeah, but what if this, and yeah, what if that? My stance on gender is that it's being made a total mockery out of. That's one thing I will speak about. There's a man who cut his arm off because he wanted to identify as an amputee. There's a woman who blinded herself with drain cleaner because she wanted to identify as a blind person. It is just completely taking it away from, you know, the whole importance of this whole situation. Male to female and female to male. I know there's hundreds of different genders and pansexual and demisexual and this sexual and you know, if you want to identify that as that's absolutely fine, but these mockery genders are just an absolute joke. Cutting off your arm because you want to be an amputee, it's just, guys, look, book burning is literally using hate to fight hate. It's a symbol of extremism. We'll erase your work from the world because we don't agree with your views, which of any of these views don't appear in the work if you created, by the way, so, you know, they don't appear in the Harry Potter books. Do not attack Harry Potter and encourage the burning of the work. These books helped millions of people. They still help millions of people. And they continue, and they will continue to help millions of people for years to come. But look, guys, let me know your comments. I'm always interested to see what you have to say. Please don't kill each other. If you want to unsubscribe to the channel because, you know, I have an opinion, which we'll put a guess. Let's see. I'm going to say 200 people to unsubscribe to the channel after this video because I have an opinion of my own. But anyway, guys, for those of you who have stuck with me and will continue to respect me and the work that I'm doing, thank you for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. It's all for you guys at the end of the day. I hope you're liking the other Harry Potter videos I put out. Really like that one about Narcissa Malfoy. That took a lot of work. More of those videos coming out this week. I'm going to try to get one out in the evening and then one later on in the night, just to kind of accommodate the UK guys and then the American guys across the pond. So I'm trying to get out 2 videos every day. It might be every second day, but you know, I'm getting a lot more, I'm a lot more productive. Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching. Look out for the next video. Subscribe to the channel or leave me. It's okay. See you soon.